Hello friends, I welcome you back into today's class. So what we'll be focusing today is what we call sniffing. So before we dive in, if you're new to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and turn on the notification button. So let's dive into what we have for today's class. So what we have for today's class is sniffing. So when we're talking about sniffing, sniffing is the process of a monitoring and a capturing all data packets passing through a given network. So sniffing is the process of monitoring and capturing a data packet that is passing through a given network. Sniffers are used by network or system administrator to monitor and troubleshoot network traffic. So basically, when we're talking about sniffing, this sniffing is the process of we monitor and capturing what is going through a given network. And this sniffing here, it can be used by a network administrator or a system administrator to monitor and troubleshoot a network traffic. So the next thing says here is attacker use sniffers to capture data packets that contain sensitive information such as password and account information and so on. So why bad guy as well, they make use of this sniffing to capture the data that is passing through a network. All those data that contain our sensitive information, it can be your password, can be your account information, can be your CC, it can be your SSN, all those sensitive information. Bad guy make use of this attack to capture all those information. So when we're talking about this sniffing, we have two types. The first one here is the active sniffing, and the second one is the passive sniffing. So when we're talking about active sniffing attack employ the use of advanced piece of hardware that's known as a switches. So when we're talking about this active sniffing is carried out by the name of hardware that we know as a switches. Active sniffing attacks are often initiated by injecting address resolution protocols, which is what we know as ARP, into the network in order to overflow the switch content address memory table. So this active sniffing attack often injects the ARP into a network in order to overflow the CAM table of the switch, which is the switch content and address memory. But when we're talking about the second type of sniffing, which is what we know as the passive sniffing, this type of sniffing is generally carried out at the hub. As we all know, the active sniffing is carried out on the switch. The passive sniffing is carried out at the hub. Unlike active sniffing, the hub may be immediately injected with a sniffer device to simply collect data packets. However, hub are rarely utilized nowadays, therefore passive sniffing attacks are also rarely recorded, as we all know that no one is making use of a hub like before nowadays. That's the reason why passive sniffing as well are rarely recorded. But when we're talking about active sniffing are common nowadays because all organizations making use of a switch up to now. So when we're talking about this sniffing, we have different tools used to carry out this sniffing attack. The first one here is the Wireshark. You can make use of Wireshark. We have BetaCap, we have EtherCap, we have TC Dump, Network Miner, we have Keysmith and Disney. So all these tools here are the various tools that we can use to carry out sniffing attack. The next thing is a prevention. How can we prevent our network or our system against this type of an attack? The first thing here says do not use a public Wi-Fi. For most of us that like using public Wi-Fi, it is not secure whenever you are using a public Wi-Fi because anything you do on the Wi-Fi, it can be seen and bad guy can be capturing everything you are doing. Anytime you see a free Wi-Fi, it's not good to be making use of those Wi-Fi. So the second one here says rely on a trusted VPN connection. So as we all know, the function of VPN is to encrypt whatever we are doing on the network. So anytime you want to make use of VPN, make sure that you are using a trusted version of a VPN. Any VPN that is a paid version, those are the trusted version of VPN we should be using on our network. The third one say we should look for secure HTTPS protocol before solving the web. So as we all know that we have HTTP and we have an HTTPS. Anything you are doing on HTTP, it is easier for bad guys to grab your credential. But anytime you are browsing a website, make sure you are making use of the HTTPS, which is a secure version of HTTP. So the next thing I'll say is don't fall prey to social engineering trick and trap. So as we all know what is social engineering is, those are the tricks that bad guy use to collect our sensitive information. We shouldn't fall victim to all those tricks and traps that all those bad guys use to collect your username and your password. So the next thing says adopt a sniffer detection application. So make sure that you have a sniffing detection tools on your devices. Example like anti-sniff, you can install anti-sniff on your devices. We have NIPT, we have ARP watch and the snot. So all these sniffing tools here, those are the tools we can use to detect any sniffing attack on our network. Okay, so this is where we're going to stop for the theory aspects. The next thing is for us to move into the demonstration for us to know how bad guy can get your information if you know secure yourself from this type of attack. So let's head into our Kelly machine, which is the attacker machine. So I'm going to log in. So I'm going to log in into it. So once the login into it, we'll go back to our terminal. Okay, I'm going to close all this terminal and I'm going to open a new terminal. So if I have a couple of commands we'll be using here. The first thing says apt-get install betacap-y. So this first command here is to install the tools that we want to be using for this demonstration. So the tools we are using here is the betacap. So for you that you are just watching this video, you need to use these first tools to install the betacap, but I've already installed it. I don't need to do it again. The second command is to launch the betacap. So you copy, you come to your Kali, make sure that you are in a root folder. Make sure that you are in your root folder. Okay. Once you see root, you are in root. So we're going to paste the command. What's the function of this command? Betacap is the tools we are using. iFace here stands from interface. On which interface are we using? We are using Ethernet 0 and we hit enter key. So once we hit enter key, Betacap is going to be launched. The next thing is to use net.probe on. What does function of net.probe on? Net.probe on is to probe the network and see all available devices on a network. So we want to see how many devices that are connected to our network. So as you can see here, we have two devices. Let's go to the next one. The next thing is the net.sniff on to turn on sniffing so we can be able to capture any data and packet, any data on our network. Hit enter key. So the next command here is set ARP spoof full duplex true so that we'll be able to steal a victim MAC address. So you paste it and hit enter key. This command here is to steal, to hijack a victim MAC address. Here we need to specify the victim MAC address, the victim IP that we want to hijack the MAC address. So if I go to my Windows 10 and I open the CMD on my Windows 10, so if I open the CMD on my Windows 10, I open the CMD, hold on. So I'm going to open the CMD on my Windows 10. So let's hold on for this guy to come up. If I open the CMD on my Windows 10, okay, so I'm going to be using this command ipconfig. So once I type ipconfig, as you can see here is my IP address. So I'm going to change this to this IP. So I go back to this command and I change this to 172.20.10.10.2. Okay, so we're going to copy. So you're going to change that IP to wherever your Windows 10 IP address is. So you're going to paste and hit enter key. Here is the victim that wants to be hijacking the MAC address. Okay, so let's go to the next. The next thing now says ALP.spoof on. This thing is to turn on spoofing. So paste and hit enter key. You're going to see a message that say ALP spoofer started. So this next thing here says ALP spoof dash I Ethernet 0 dash T, which is a target IP and IP. Let me edit this thing before I explain what the function is. So I'm going to edit it before I explain the function for you. 172.20.10.2, 172.20.10.1. So let me edit it before I explain the function. 10.10.1, 172.20.10.2. Okay, so the first function here says that we are telling Windows 10 that any traffic that met for your default gateway, you shouldn't send this to default gateway again, be sending it to us, which is the Kali. We are telling the Windows 10, the default gateway here as well, that any traffic that met for Windows 10, you shouldn't send this to Windows 10 again, be sending it to us. So this type of attack here is what we call the man in the middle attack. So we are trying to make a man in the middle attack so that we're going to be in between Windows 10 and default gateway. So as you can see, the default gateway is 10.1 and Windows 10 is 10.2. So copy this first command here. This first command here will be running in another terminal. So it means that I am going to right click and you're going to see split terminal horizontally. Okay, so once you see split terminal horizontally, make sure that you are in a root. Make sure you are in root and paste that command. That first command will be running. We'll go back to the second command. We're going to copy this second command as well. And this second command will be running on another terminal. Make sure that you are in a root as well. So make sure you are in root directory. Okay, so you're going to copy the second command and paste and enter key. So once the two is going, you're going to go to the third command. This third command here is to allow Kali to be able to forward any traffic to the internet, because we have already disconnect our Windows 10 from the default gateway. So anytime the Windows 10 wants to browse, you should allow the Windows 10 to still be able to reach the internet. So this third command is to allow the Windows 10 to be able to get to the internet. So I'm going to split terminal again and make sure that you are in your root. Make sure that in your root directory, and you're going to paste the last command and hit enter key. So after that, you can drag this down. Make sure that all those commands are running. So once you drag it down, if I come back here, the next thing says now goes to the Windows 10 on VirtualBox, open a browser and visit to this website. So I'm going to open my Windows 10 and I'm going to open the browser on the Windows 10. So as you can see, anything that we are doing on the Windows 10, you will be getting message. As I open the browser, if I open browser on the Windows 10, you're going to see that this guy is going to be showing you a message that we have opened a browser on the Windows 10. So let's hold on for this guy to come up. So let's hold on. If I bring this guy up, if I bring this Windows 10 up and I open Microsoft on the Windows 10. Once I open the Microsoft, you're going to see a message that we have already opened Microsoft Edge. So you're going to see MS Edge. That means that we've opened the Microsoft. Everything we're doing, we'll be able to see it on the victim. So here now say we should browse to this website, VonWeb. Goes to vonweb.com and hit enter key. Once we goes to vonweb.com, if you come here, it's going to tell you that we have browsed to this website, vonweb.com. So if you come here, let's log in. Let's click on this first URL. Let's click on the first link. So if I click on this first link, we're going to hold on for this guy to come up. We're going to hold on for this guy to come up. I think this is a network issue. So let me go back again, vonweb.com, and I click on the first link here. So I'm going to click on the first URL. So let's hold on a little bit. Let's hold on a little bit. I think this is a network issue, but let's hold on. So let's hold on for these websites to come up. Let's hold on for this website to come up. Sorry guys for the delay. So if I type vonweb.com and I click on this first URL, it should take me to the next page. Yeah, it should take me to the next page. I click on this first URL. It should take me to the next page. Sorry, please. There is a network issue. I need to solve whatever the issue is here. If I come to this second, let me go to this second URL. Let me browse to this second URL. I know this is network issue. All right. So after that, I'm going to click on the link. So once I click on one URL, so I'm going to see login. So once I log in, I'm going to put my username and password. If I put the username as admin and the password as admin1234. So once I click on login, so once we log in, we come back to our Kali. If you see here, you see that we are able to grab the username and password, the username of admin and the password of admin1234. So that's how a sniffing attack is being carried out. When you are surfing into unsecure browsing websites, it's easier for bad guys to grab whatever your username and password is. So how can you prevent this? I've explained how you can prevent this earlier. The first thing says that you shouldn't be using a public Wi-Fi, and make sure that you are solving HTTPS anytime you are browsing to a website. Make sure you rely on a secure VPN and make sure that you have an anti-sniffing detection tools on your devices. Okay, so thank you guys for watching the video. This is where we're going to stop for today's video. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and turn on the notification button so that you'll be the first one to be notified anytime we drop video like this. So bye for now and thanks once again.